Well, here we are. The end of Yojo June is here, and now that that's completed, we can all issue a great sigh of relief. I'm glad to see that every single problem has been solved, we've had dozens and dozens of reveals, and not a single thing went wrong. Truly, the brand has been saved. Could you imagine if things went any differently?
You serious?
Oh dear. Hello, Doomers and Doomettes, I'm your host Didi, and as the highly anticipated and disappointing Yojo June reaches its conclusion, we're going to be following up on my previous G.I. Joe video by taking a look at the current state of the brand, going over what happened this month, what's to come, and we're going to be talking a little bit about a little doomsday theory I have for the line, so be sure to get those tinfoil hats prepared and stick around until the end. So if you're new here and this kind of content interests you, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, or share the video if you want to help out this channel, and to any returning viewers, I'm glad to have you back. Now, let's talk some Joe. So this Yojo June was very anticipated in the community for a few reasons. It was anticipated to have some new reveals, some updates regarding the disaster of Cobra Island, and all around was a big make it or break it point for many collectors, myself included. And now, as we approach its end, the best I can do is kinda just shrug. It certainly had some good news to it, but overall, I think it's a sign that the G.I. Joe brand team really has a lot of work to do, and honestly, at this point, I'm not totally sure they're capable of holding things together anymore. It's one of those things that only time will tell, but I don't think the necessary steps were taken as they should have been here. Let's try to start off with the good, and then we'll get into things a little bit more critically. We're not going to be going in depth into the figure reveals themselves, as I'm sure you're already very familiar with them at this point, but instead we're going to be talking about the events surrounding them. To start, let's get some blood flowing, shall we? Well, despite being another exclusive, Major Blood certainly has, without a doubt, been the most easy to obtain Cobra Island figure there's been at Target. He's had multiple restocks, he's been available on the website for more than 5 seconds at a time, and eBay scalpers are doing everything they can to not let prices dip below $40. All of that is a huge improvement over the last 2 waves, and it seems that either production numbers were upped or more orders were placed to finally meet some of the demand. And this seems to be the case for Wave 4 of Cobra Island, as Breaker and Barbecue were available for almost a whole day on Target's website. For Target, that's practically an eternity. And in addition, aside from that first day of availability, I know that Breaker has been going in and out of stock since for pre-order. They also finally addressed this disaster for the first time, saying they know it's frustrating and saying there would be reissues of the first wave later this summer, and some are already spotting them. Especially if you're in Canada and you're seeing them at Toys R Us. After nearly a year, they're finally addressing it on a stream and admitting that yes, it's been difficult. Commando Snake Eyes is still mostly available on numerous retailers of your choice, and although Heavy Artillery Roadblock is currently sold out, a lot of Amazon exclusives will typically refresh inventory in and out, and I'd recommend adding that to a watch list if you haven't already had a chance to order him. And while I personally didn't mind it, for those of you who really hated the sci-fi look the figures had to them, there definitely seems to be some more traditional looking figures on the way, but unfortunately I'd say that's where the good news ends. All of this came from the Fan First Friday that occurred on June 4th, but rather than having several reveals over the course of the month, they kicked off the month with 4 figure reveals and then spaced out the pre-order availability for those reveals over the course of the month. Why not just have them all available on the same day you revealed them? What was the point of that? And to make matters worse, all of the reveals turned out to be exclusives, and the reissues of Cobra Island will continue to be Target exclusive. Is anyone really enjoying running out to Targets to try to ask employees about the figures constantly or risk missing them entirely? Is anyone enjoying the fact that people are hoarding these figures to resell solely because they are exclusive and thought to be hard to get, thus making them even harder to get? Now, I get it. Exclusives are necessary in regards to figure production. It's supposedly a way for retailers to have incentive to stock products, and it results in more variety of figures being made. However, that being said, how tight is this contract with Target that Hasbro's continuing Cobra Island into Wave 4? What's this obsession with Target that reissues will continue to be available only there, while other exclusives opened up to more channels after about a year? Let's talk some numbers. Of the 35 currently known figures as of this recording, 17 or just under half are exclusive, whether they're fan channel exclusive, Pulse exclusive, and so on. And at 9 figures, just about 25% of the line is only available to be purchased at Target stores, including the only 2 vehicles in the entire line. Now, while you could say that's maybe due to the line still only just starting, this is still the only way to get main characters like the Baroness and Major Blood at this point. In fact, there's something very interesting about classified Major Blood. Blood. If you look back far enough, you'll find that Major Blood's figure codename, Leopard, was originally found in Walmart systems before Leopard showed up in Target computers and became Major Blood. Let me repeat that. Major Blood was originally appearing in Walmart computers, which, interestingly enough, could point to a fact that Major Blood was originally supposed to be a figure in a wave with Flint and Lady J, along with potentially Barbecue. However, it's possible they were removed and placed into the category of exclusive figures. And judging by the time frame, this move might have happened over the summer or fall of 2020, when Cobra Island Wave 1 was coming out. If that's accurate, that would suggest that while everyone was complaining about how poorly Cobra Island Wave 1 was being handled, their response behind the scenes was to make even more Cobra Island exclusives.
What were they thinking?
Well, there actually might be an answer to that. I think if we start tracing the dots and looking at our conspiracy boards, the current state of G.I. Joe Classified series, exclusives and all, can all be blamed on the upcoming Snake Eyes movie and its delays. Just like I said in my previous video, it's no secret that the Snake Eyes movie wave of figures was supposed to drop last year along with the movie, and when the movie was delayed, they had to remove the figures from the lineup, and the current waves had to be spread out very thin in order to pad out the year with figures. At long last, the movie is coming out finally on July 23rd, and the 5-figure wave of Snake Eyes origin figures has been revealed to be coming out in October on Pulse.
Oh no.
And that's not even referring to the core class figures which were recently put up for pre-order, which aren't due out until December. This was something I touched upon in my video regarding the FanFest back in April, and although it was a choice by Hollywood to move up the film's release, it still puts Classified series in a very tough spot. The film is coming out in July, and yet most product is slated to release in October. Will people still be interested in the full wave of figures come October? This is where what I like to call the Doomsday Theory comes into play. At the moment, the Snake Eyes movie wave of figures hasn't sold out at any major retailer, including Hasbro Pulse, and it doesn't seem like the demand is as high for them as for the other figures. And with less accessories and more limited articulation, they don't seem to have that same high standard that the other figures have. So I have to ask, what's gonna happen when late this summer stores start to stock these figures if the line doesn't sell? The recent trailer came out, which seems to confirm leaks spreading around certain communities, and that's not exactly shaping up well. If you're interested in hearing my spoiler discussion on the leaks, you can click on the video in the upper corner now. My concern is that if the movie isn't a success, the merchandise won't sell, and retailers won't be purchasing additional non-movie related items. With so much momentum focused on pushing merch out for the movie, from kids' toys to collectibles to roleplay gear and more, it's as if despite all the hype for it, no one working on the project stopped to ask one big question.
Hey guys, what if the movie sucks?
Just like how the Operation Blackout game came and was quickly moved to clearance, a brand doesn't need content alone, it needs quality content to ensure everyone's happy. If there are piles and piles of unsold Snake Eye movie items in stores like Target, do you really think they're going to order more? Are they really going to see a difference in content of the items? What's that going to mean for the brand, let alone Classified series? So, with all that said and done, it brings us to the title of this video. Can Classified series be saved? Did Yojo June really do anything to help? Well, not to sound like a cop-out, but this is one of those things that only time will have a true answer towards. I really did want this line to succeed, and it's put some of Hasbro's best figures out in recent memory. If the G.I. Joe brand is to truly survive beyond the Snake Eyes movie and start to rekindle some fan support, they need to start working on content that would be more likely to resonate with general audience as well as fans. Just look at the new trailer for the He-Man Revelation series on Netflix, which has been met with widespread acclaim and praise for its relation to the source material, with extremely high-profile stars like Mark Hamill in the iconic role as Skeletor. With the upcoming Lady J show on Amazon, they'll need to have a similar level of respect for the source material, and if I'm honest, I'm not sure I'm completely getting that vibe with the Snake Eyes movie. As for Classified series, I hope that once the movie wave is over, we can return to a more normalized figure release schedule, with a wave structure involving higher amounts of figures, especially now that there are photos floating around of a potential Classified series Bat and the long-rumored Alley Viper that was supposed to come. While the line's success may have taken them by surprise, it's been a year since release, and they really should be able to get into things like army builders similar to Marvel Legends and Power Rangers into production. The line is still in its infancy, and it wouldn't be fair to expect everything in the first year, but in order to adapt and survive, they definitely need to completely rework their strategy with exclusives and not have everything so dependent on this single film. With summer coming up, we can only wait to see if they are going to stay true to their word that more figures are going to get into the hands of fans rather than scalpers. So for the fans, let's try to keep a cool head, be patient, and hope for the best. That's all we can really do at this point, sadly. I know that this has been a real disappointment for many people, but at least in the worst case, we can save some money that we better spent on other lines.
Try to see the bright side.
Bright side? Get this in your bright side, Destro!
That's all I have for today's talk. Now that Yojo June has reached its conclusion, what were your thoughts on the reveals this month? Are you looking forward to the Snake Eyes movie now that a new trailer is out, or are you feeling a bit pessimistic? Let me know in the comments below. I apologize for the delay in getting this video up, but next week I'll like to talk about some information regarding the upcoming Transformers Rise of the Beast film, so if you're interested in hearing my thoughts about that, be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I can see you next time.